Thank you, Ganga. So yeah. So namaste to all master. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the masters who have joined for Sanghas. So first of all, on behalf of Beyond Your Mind Foundation, our beloved Saroja Gulabali ma'am, I would like to extend my warm welcome to every participants today for Sanghas. So the topic is ego. So before we begin our session, I would like to start with 5-minute meditation. So I just would like to share the music on Bhagavad Gita, which is chapter 2, verse 71. So which is apt for this topic. So everyone, please gently close your eyes, cross your legs, and interlock your fingers. Relax your body. I'll share the verse with you. So we'll just begin with the meditation. Thank you all, masters.
Vihaya kamanyah sarvan Puman sharati nispruhaha Nirmamo nirahankaraha Sashanti madigacchati Vihaya kamanyah sarvan Puman sharati nispruhaha Nirmamo nirahankaraha Sashanti madigacchati Vihaya kamanyah sarvan Puman sharati nispruhaha Nirmamo nirahankaraha Sashanti madigacchati Vihaya kamanyah sarvan Puman sharati nispruhaha Nirmamo nirahankaraha Sashanti madigacchati Vihaya kamanyah sarvan Puman sharati nispruhaha Nirmamo nirahankaraha Sashanti madigacchati Vihaya kamanyah sarvan Puman sharati nispruhaha Nirmamo nirahankaraha Sashanti madigacchati Vihaya kamanyah sarvan Puman sharati nispruhaha Nirmamo nirahankaraha Sashanti madigacchati Vihaya kamanyah sarvan Puman sharati nispruhaha Nirmamo nirahankaraha Sashanti madigacchati Vihaya kamanyah sarvan Puman sharati nispruhaha Nirmamo nirahankaraha Sashanti madigacchati
My dear masters, when you are ready, please raise your hands on your closed eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You can open your eyes with a beautiful smile, my dear masters. Thank you so much for the wonderful meditation. So on behalf of Sanghas, I would like to welcome you all for this platform. So firstly, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to us, Saroja ma'am, beloved Saroja ma'am, who is the founder of Beyond Your Mind. So has given us this wonderful platform for us to share the knowledge and wisdom. So this is like a divine spiritual forum where we discuss about any sort of like topics so which we have been just started this year. So first of all, I think Saroja ma'am is here. I would like to welcome her on board. So it's over to you, Saroja ma'am, just with the blessing. So we would like to start the session today. Thank you so much for being here from US. So it's a pleasure. Welcome you, ma'am, on board. Thank you so much, Saroja ma'am, for your presence.
Yeah, hello everyone. It's a pleasure for me to join as well. I think in the last 3 weeks, this is the first session I could make it. And the time difference has just thrown me away. So I think it's a great pleasure to be with you all. So may I ask Jaya madam, what's the topic for today? I know I should know because of the flyer, but
Yeah, it's ego, ma'am.
wow, one of my favorite topics.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So I'm so honored to be here today, and all the participants who are here. I really want you all to enjoy this session, participate completely. It's one of the amazing topics that I've always cherished, and I've always spoken about it. And in the last 2 years on Beyond Your Mind, this is one topic that we have all tried in different form. You know, how do we understand the ego? How do we I wouldn't say overcome, but how do we identify when we are in the middle of it? To what extent can we accept ego in our lives? So we've seen ego from so many different angles. So I feel ego is a very good friend for us on Beyond Your Mind Foundation. And what an amazing topic. And Masters, I'm so happy to be with you all. So I'll hand it over to our capable Jaya madam. And I would also like to say hello to Sri Harika. Looks like she's here today.
Yeah.
Yes, she is. So welcome, Sri Harika, along with everyone. I know I haven't given you much introduction when I was in San Francisco, but I left you in capable hands of Jaya madam. Sanghas is one of the most amazing platform of Beyond Your Mind. So sit back, enjoy, or participate as much as you can. Thank you, Jaya madam. Yes, Sri Harika. So you are here. You are in the deep and thick of Beyond Your Mind, one of the most beautiful sessions, which is called Sangha. I don't speak in this. I'm a silent spectator and enjoy all my children talking about these profound topics that we pick. So yeah, very happy to see you here and to see that you have already dived into the BYM platform. Well done, Amma. Well done. Over to you, Jaya madam.
Thank you so much, Sarojamma. It's a pleasure you being present in our Sanghas today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sri Harika ma'am. Welcome on board. So actually, I'll just briefly explain our guidelines. So this is actually English and Hindi-based Sanghas. So we got another Sanghas which is available on Telugu. So they do have a different timings. So this is actually, we have 4 halls called Satyam, Sivam, Sundaram, Subham. So we have 3 leaders in each group. So every time, it could be once in 2 months or once in 3 months. So it depends on our program. We'll just set the things. So every time from the whole, some leaders, they choose the topic. So this time we have had, first topic was surrender. And then we talk about thought power. So we had nearly 5 or 6 sessions we have done. So this is the third topic on ego. So which is initiated from our team. So in our team, I got myself, Purna sir and Mahanti ma'am. So since we have initiated, we'll just little bit briefly talk about what is ego. So, like whatever insight from our views. So we'll just talk about. So it's full and full open for the participants who are here. So they can share their insights and their understanding. And if they have any questions, so there are so many masters who are ready to guide you or support you, or answer you for your questions. So this is full and full open for all the participants. So this is not for one particular person who just talk and someone listens. It's not kind of thing. It's completely an open forum discussion. So whoever willing to share your experience, if anything come across, so how you just get things like while we are talking, when we come across some situation. So you can just feel free to share your experiences, and we are most welcome. So you can just raise your hand, we'll unmute yourself, then you can just share your like wisdoms or whatever it is. So this is how it just works. So we'll just start from the team. Whoever initiated, they'll just talk about a little, or if someone is ready to talk about it, so they can straight away start. It's not that we first talk, then you all can talk. It's not something like that. If you are ready to speak out, you can put your hand raised, so we can straight away ask you to share your things about what do you feel about the topic. So this is today topic is all about ego. So from each hall, we have 3 members. We normally, when the participants joins in, the first few sessions, we just put each participants in like each hall. But now it's like kind of, everyone, whoever joined here, it's all know about all the guidelines and things like that. So we don't put them in groups. So whoever ready to share, you are most welcome to share your ideas or your insights, masters. So today our topic was initiated from our team. So I'll just quickly, whatever I understand what is ego from my side, I'll just say a few words. Then Purna sir is there, Malati ma'am is there. If they are willing to share their insights, they are more happy to share about their insights, masters. So even before that, if you are anyone ready, please put your hands up, so we will unmute yourself. You are able to talk. So I'll just talk about ego. Is one of the best friend, what we would say. Everyone, we just hear. Without ego, no one is. It's inbuilt. It's defaulted in us. So as it says on this Bhagavad Gita verse, I always start with whatever session happens, I'll start with this Bhagavad Gita verses. So I just found when I was searching for ego something which is apt for this. So I just came across this verse, and I just would like to share on these, masters. So this verse says, Vihaya Kaman Yaha Sarvan Puman Sharadi Nixpiraha Nirmamo Nirahankaraha Shashantim Adi Gachadi. So in this, what um, Lord Krishna is saying, so when the person so in this, what Krishna is saying to Arjuna is the meaning is about the person who gives up all the material desires and lives free from a sense of greed, proprietorship, and egoism, attains perfect peace. So in this, what he says is most of the quarrel start that erupt between people, so stem from the ego. So as we all know, how ego plays the major role in our day-to-day life, masters. So even it could be in family, between husband, wife, between parents and children, so between like mom and dad, or like siblings. So every single thing just erupt from the stem of uh, uh, ego. So that's what he said, like whoever just give up, or like the egoism, so they are the people who attains the perfect peace. And ego is the most thing which just impact our life. Like once, sometimes we wouldn't know how we handle ego. And even in Thousand Seeds of Joy, Ananda Karneshji has mentioned so many times. So whenever we come across a situation where we agitate with the feeling of ego, so we always observe our sensation of body and then surrender to that moment. then we feel like we calm down. So we're able to identify or understand what is happening among in us. So we'll be able to overcome, or we'll be able to come out of that situation easily. So for each and everything, even in untold story of Sita, in many situations, even Lord Rama, he himself is the Lord, but sometimes when he get hold of ego, so sometimes he couldn't come out of certain things. So even when he was defeating Ravana at that point, when he surrendered to that ego, then when he sees Ravana as his own shadow, and when that moment when we surrender only, he was able to kill him, or he was able to defeat him. So that much the ego has the power. So rather the ego govern us, so we are able to like hold on to so when we identify the ego is like uh, like anchoring us, so we try to hold the thing off, and then we try to get out of the situation. And so ego is like yeah, when we keep the ego as a friend, so it's nothing, we wouldn't lose anything. So ego is at the end, it just as a disruptive thing, it will ended up in disruption only. And also so the ego is means it's just the sense of identity. It could be in all sort of all the sense emotions like fear, anger, everything's ego is there. So what we need to do, so what Lord Krishna is saying, like the false ego, when it just um, hold on to us, so sometimes we don't know who we are. So whatever we do, we like at one point Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, so I'm by myself, so I'm doing everything. So from I don't have any false ego. So whatever I'm doing, I've been identified as who I am. Whether I could be so I was killing so many demons from my birth to death, but I'm not changed myself. I'm not doing it from my like with the false ego. So I'm doing it for other people's like their well-being. So it's not going to harm me at all. So those are the things. But whenever Arjuna feels like, when the ego comes and he feels like he should not uh, defeat with his own people, so they always on Bhagavad Gita, this is what he's trying to say to Arjuna, to make him feel okay to have the war go on. And also in this thing, then he said, um, even one of the author, his name is Mark McCormack, he's author of What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School. He says like most corporate executives are one giant ego with a couple of arms and legs sticking out. So he has just mentioned, because so the ego is the root of the all cause, like for this, how the earth is like this these days. So all the things just come from ego. So when we identify the ego in the right way, and when we embrace, so we can easily move on. And yeah, so in some point, when from my um, uh, perspective, what I feel, so when that is where we should have a little bit of ego, when it comes to self dignity. Without ego, we can't maintain our self dignity. If we have a little bit of ego only, then the self dignity will remain. Otherwise, if we just let it go everything, so there wouldn't be a self dignity. So that is my main point in here I would like to share. So I don't know if I'm right or wrong. If anyone is there, so is willing to elaborate on this, it would be great, my dear masters. So with this note, I will end my insight, what I am thinking of ego, and I'm feel free to share more in the coming things. So I didn't want to take more time. I'll just move on with the participants, whoever ready and put their hands raised. So willing to listen from them, or I'll over to Purna sir, if you would like to share a few things or add on with his insight, and then Malati ma'am. Please, participants, I invite every one of you to come forward and share your experiences, my dear masters. Thank you so much for listening this far. Over to Purna, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Participants, it's your session. Please raise your hand and share your views. Because this session is Sangha session, his first preference goes to participants, then the leaders comes. So please raise your hand and share your views on ego. Like Jaya madam shared her view from her perspective, how ego works and how ego will affect our daily lives. So before I go ahead, I just want to ask anyone ready to share. Yes, sir.
Sir, Bian Shetty from Satyam Group, he has put message. Ego is one thing we cannot know when it has come.
Yes, sir.
How to identify and try to be.
Yes, sir. I saw the question. Thanks for raising it. Yes, sir. Just before I go ahead, I just want to ask participants first, so that if anybody is ready to talk or share their views, you're very welcome. And even the group leaders, the four halls, the other 3 halls leaders also, if you are ready to share your views, please share. Okay, masters, let me share my view on ego. It's a night sharing by Jaya madam. Thanks, madam. And just today, when I'm going through, and just got a beautiful description of ego from the words of Ramana Maharshi. This really got me in another perspective how ego works in our daily life. Just I'll share that verse before I start. If the ego does not rise, the self alone exists and there is no second. If ego rises, all will rise. The mind turned inwards is the self. Turned outwards, it becomes ego and all the world. In simple way, how ego describes, when we turn inwards, it is the self which we are connecting. When we are turning outwards, it's the ego which is making us to connect to the external world and everything. The same thing, because Saroja madam always shares, ego is a anchor to live in this physical body, because we all come from the oneness, like a drop from the big ocean. So if there is no ego, our soul will always want to go to the oneness. The soul doesn't want to stay here. So if the ego is not there, we will not be here incarnating as human beings. We'll be always with oneness only. That's why ego is very important, like the way how we use salt in our cooking. If the salt is, if it is in a curry, if salt is more, we can't eat. Even the salt is less, we can eat a little bit, but it will not it will not be a happy meal, right? That's way ego is also like that. It should be in a balanced way. It should not be neither low or neither high, because if when ego is low, you don't care, you don't bother to think about anything. If somebody is insulting you, is disrespecting you also, you don't matter much. And when ego is upside, even the self-respect and everything will turns into ego. That's the way ego works, because ego is required, but it should not be in a balanced way. That's my shared view of thoughts, because right now they're coming to the point where one of the madam or master asked the question in the chat about how to identify ego. That's a difficult question. It's not a small topic, because Saroja madam in a ego session, she explained beautifully about ego, how we can identify how, because ego needs only two things. One is identification and second one is the power. So when the simple trick to come out of ego is we need to observe. When the ego comes, we need to observe it. Then we'll be free from, we can liberate or free from ego, whatever it is. And to recognize that ego, we are in a state of ego, we should be practicing awareness. We should be aware of our thoughts, our surroundings, what we are doing. When we are in the present moment, when we are in the awareness, then only we can identify we are in a state of ego. Then once you identified ego, that's the first step. That itself shows that we took one step to overcome ego. But it's a journey. It's not, it doesn't happen in one day or one overnight. It's a constant journey, because ego will come in every life. Because, for example, if you are driving on a road, and if you feel, because most of the times everyone drives, most of the people. So if you are driving on a highway and somebody crossing you from the side even faster than you, then also you will feel ego. Yes, this guy crossed me. These are the small examples I'm giving you, because even to identify, because before beyond your mind associating, beyond associating with Saroja madam only, I identified how ego works and how inverts, because I think even in the situations of ego, I think it is a normal thing. But when I then only identified even situations, now I'm able to identify where my ego levels, like I'm able to sometimes, not I'm telling you all the time I can identify I'm in a state of ego, but most of the times, a few times during the day also, I just come across, oh yes, this thought came to me because of my ego. That's why when I start to notice that one, I just observe that I'm in a state of ego, then I completely concentrate what are the physical changes happening in my body. Like is there some inconvenience in my stomach or chest or heart, wherever in muscles are contracting. These kind of small variations will come in our physical body. If when I start to observe, the time which I'm in the state of ego is gradually reducing. Previously I used to be, whenever I'm affected with ego, I will be staying for a long period of time in that state particularly. But nowadays I'm able to reduce the time spending in the state of ego, so that I can, when I'm concentrating on that physical changes in my body, then it started disappearing slowly. The time is reducing. That's why I'm practicing. It's a constant practice. There is no short answer or one solution for this one. It's a constant learning and constant practice. The practice comes with, first thing is awareness only. When we are with awareness, then only we can identify ego. When you start identified ego, you are in the right path. That's my share. That's my perspective on ego. Thanks for the opportunity, Jaya madam, for giving me this opportunity to share about my perspective on ego. And thank you, Saroja madam, for this wonderful session on ego and Sanghas. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, Purna sir, for your perspective and your views. It's such a beautiful example when you just share about salt in a curry, less or more, how it just affect our taste buds. So the same thing, egos, when it shouldn't be low or high, it should be balanced. And when we identify how it works, and when it's easy for us to maintain, as you meant, like the short span of time, the span of time which we hold on with that state, it will reduce by the practice. So definitely the meditation helps us to identify the situation, our body sensation, how we feel, and this anger or jealous or pride or whatever it is, whatever form the ego's there. So it is a constant practice, as Purna sir mentioned. So it's nothing masters, it's just the practice and the way how we identify and how we move on. And definitely, I agree with Purna sir. I came across the state with the ego. Actually, you know, in the day-to-day life, we come across so many situations where we just sometimes, you know, before even I became to meditation, we used to fight with that ego. So, but now we just we embrace, then we let it go. And you know, sometimes when we had some sort of argument or anything between, it could be me and my husband or with the children, sometimes we hold on for a longer period of time. But now it's dramatically, it's reduced to very, very short time, because we can identify, or it's nothing, it's not worth hold on to this far. So we just will be able to make up our mind. And definitely this meditation help us to bring that state, this that span of time. So that's a beautiful both 2 points, Purna said from you. I just would like to elaborate on that. So I really would like to uh, welcome all the participants. Please come up and share your views. So yeah, I'll just look for anyone. Yeah, you can just raise your hand, or then you can unmute yourself, Master. So it's not that we, as the leaders, we speak. So as I mentioned, it's open for everyone. It's especially, it's more for the participants, all the masters. So I would love to hear from you all. Yeah, please put your hands up. Feel free, come forward. I know if someone start, then everyone will be willing to go on. So I'm just waiting for the first person. Please put your hands up and come forward to share your view and perspectives, masters. So this is open for you all. This is for you all. Thank you. Sri Harika, would you like to share something from your views?
Sure, madam.
Yeah.
This is my very first time being in this platform, so I would like to thank Saroja ma'am, obviously, for pushing me forward to be a part of this within a few days of meeting her. So thank you, Saroja ma'am, and thank you all the masters who are actually helping me understand the concept of this platform. And I totally agree with what Purna sir has mentioned just now, to be in the state of awareness, to understand what the thoughts are, what the thought patterns are. But because I am new to all this, there is one more thing that I am trying to do in my day-to-day life. So I would like to share that with you. I think the reaction, the egoistic reaction, happens when we are lacking something in ourselves, when we don't feel full. So that is something that could be the trigger point. So instead of looking outside on how the other person reacts or how I should react, I'm actually looking at those trigger points and to see how I can make myself full. So it's more of contemplation, introspection on what I can do better for myself. So if that could be helpful to any of you, I'd be happy to share your thoughts on that. Thank you, ma'am.
I would like to say something on what Sri Harika said, if I'm allowed to.
Yes, Saroja ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So without being too much involved in Sanghas, you still have brought a very beautiful point forward, Sri Harika. Yes, I do understand you haven't been involved in the discussions in the past. We have had multiple sessions on awareness and ego. But without really having a preview of all that, one thing you said that if you're not in introspection within yourself, if you're not happy with yourself, I think that's such an important point, Master. Someone who is contented with themselves, I don't think they will fall in the trap of ego, because ego starts with the feeling of lack, because you're feeling that you're empty within yourself. And that emptiness you're trying to complete by going outside of you. So if ever you have this question that why am I going through this bout of ego, then I think one point which I understood as what Sri Harika brought forward is quite good. Do you feel that you're incomplete? Don't you have contentment within yourself? And we only go out of ourselves when we don't feel contented. And that's where all the ego starts. So not a bad idea if you have just started this practice of, trying to observe, be aware of yourself. Also be aware, is there any non-contentment within yourself? That could be the initial start of the science of ego. I just wanted to give my opinion on what Sri Harika said. I thought that was a great point. Thank you, Sri Harika.
Thank you, Saroja ma'am. Thank you, Sri Harika ma'am. That's a beautiful quote. You have brought it up. Yeah, it really matters. Yeah, how it triggers when we are not completed ourselves. That's a beautiful point. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And yeah, I would like to invite other participants who would like to share your views on Ego Masters. Anyone is happy to share, it's more welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sujata ma'am. Thank you for coming up. Yeah, it's over to you. You can share your views and perspective, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, I really love to give my pranams to Sarojama for this wonderful platform and for this wonderful discussions. And masters, they are all doing great and really means bringing up so many beautiful points here to the surface. And here, means I want to share something means which Saroja ma'am itself, she said in 1,000 Sets of Joy Masters about the ego. Beautifully, she has conveyed that. Ego is just like an anchor for the ship. So it is the part and parcel of our thing, our being, masters. So just we need to know when to get anchored to that, or when to means just release that anchor and just travel. Okay, means I really means I was very attached to means when ma'am said that, I really got connected to that point, masters. So it is just like that, masters, and moreover. What we are seeing is means it is a beautiful mask we are wearing. That means in the example, if I need to say, if we are successful in our means in our life, we or if we are so happy, or if we are means just means contented, means we don't blame anyone or something like that, masters. But if the situations are reversed, if we are means face failures or something, anything, masters, means disasters and everything, there we try to identify means another person to satisfy our ego. So means I will be taking that personality means as a reflection of our ego, and we start blaming them, masters. And not only means it happens in this way, even in the name of God, masters, and means throughout the world. Means if we see the history and everything, in the name of God, means there are so many disasters that have been done, the worst situations which have been done, masters, because there we are really means we are not identifying the God, masters. We are identifying the God with our ego, and we are satisfying our ego. So in that name of God, we have done so much disastrous things, masters, in the entire world, in the history, if we have seen that. So there, miss as you people said, awareness, it works, and observation, masters, definitely we need to observe our thoughts and everything, and contentment. which again means gives us that means when you are out of your all insecurities and everything, then only we'll get that contentment, masters. So when we just shed all these layers, masters, insecurities, fears, means all these things, pride, everything, and if we leave all these things, then only we can means use that ego as our brahmastra, masters, means it's a ultimate weapon. So that is what I have seen. And even when it comes for the observation, masters, what I have observed is my means past 2-3 days before only, I was really thinking of some weird thoughts are coming, masters. What I have done is, okay, means let me not encourage these thoughts, or let me not suppress these thoughts. I just came into the means observer mode, and I just sat there. It's okay, and then just go on. Means up to which extent these thoughts will go, means go. Let me see. And means miraculously, masters, there it stopped. Means it has become still, masters. If I try to means suppress or something like that, if I try to encourage it, means means my ahankar, means it will go, masters, means it will be so means powerful and so satisfying in that way also. Or else if I suppress, I may get into the inferiority complex. What sort of means thoughts I am thinking, means how shit, means I'm entertaining all these shits and everything. But really I just got there, and I have sat there and just observed. It's okay, I'm leaving you. Where else you want to go, just go. But to my surprise, it was really still. And means after that, that thought has never risen, masters. So in that way, I have just come out of that, means so easily. So yes, masters, as all you people said, this is a beautiful thing. Just like a knife, masters, you can use for the good and you can use for the bad also. So it is in our hands how to use that. So for that, there are so many techniques, or means not techniques, masters, so many things that ma'am has taught us in all these videos and everything in all these days. So let us all just take that um, uh, knowledge and wisdom, masters, and let's use this ego in a fruitful way and wonderful way, masters. That is what I want to say. Thank you so much, masters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sujata ma'am. That was beautiful. And you have just given a very latest example as well, how you just get over it and how you made it like to the still state, once you observe the state of observing. Thank you so much. And Sri Karika ma'am, she has put a question to include the spiritual ego as well. So I'm not really in a position to elaborate on that. Would any of the master be able to talk about spiritual ego, what she just would like to include in the session, masters? It would be grateful if you could someone come up and share your views about the spiritual egos. Thank you.
Ma'am, with your permission, can I add one point? I don't know how far I can explain this, but I just want to share my opinion.
Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. As Sri Harika ma'am said, ma'am, when it comes to spirituality, means even Saroja ma'am has beautifully said that also. In physical life, that ego is really wonderful, okay? And that can be removed so easily, masters. But in the spiritual life, when we are, means when we become egoistic, we don't know that we are egoistic, first of all. Even in the physical life also, we don't know, but somewhere we can at least identify that. But in spiritual life, it beautifully means we have attained so much knowledge, masters, to beautifully wrap it, okay? Means with the beautiful wisdom teachings and some everything. But means inwards, it will be really egoistic. And means the people who say, masters, means I'm really so egoless, that's the ultimate thing. They are so egoistic, right? Means then only we need to means say that, means to elaborate. So there comes the means awareness part, masters. So we need to know, and it is not so easy, masters, because to become naked, physical nakedness also we can bear at times, masters, but in the spiritual level, you need to tear all your layers. then only you can get out of that ego, masters, and that is not so easy. And we are formatted to wrap all the things. We are not really used to unwrap all the things, masters. So here means in the spiritual egoistic times, it is up to you. Really, you should dive into your core parts. You are not deceiving anyone, masters. Even in the physical ego or in the spiritual level also, you are not deceiving anyone. If you are wrapping yourself, it is you are means confining your consciousness. You are not going to किसी को means आप नुकसान नहीं कर रहे हो, masters. You are not damaging anyone. You are just damaging yourself. So again, it is our responsibility and it is our evolution process where you need to unwrap all these things, really become naked, vulnerable, and then just go with the flow, masters. And if I am saying here, means if we are becoming naked or vulnerable, it doesn't mean we are in an insecure position, masters. Just face that situation for a while, masters. You will know that you are in the most secured situation, and you are really you will find your inner strength, masters. Really, you will find the true yourself. So through thorough practice and through so many masters, when we'll be in such a divine groups, masters, automatically, even if we are wrapping our things also, at times there comes the real mentors, gurus, and everyone who will unwrap that, masters. And our Saroja ma'am, she is really so, and she unwraps that in a beautiful way, masters. Even we don't know that pain also, and she's really giving us in the form of laddu, masters, not in the form of tablets, in the form of sweet, but still it works very well, and we are really able to unwrap ourselves. Thank you, Sarojama, for this wonderful presence in our lives, and for this all process that is going on right now. That's what I want to say, Jayama. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Sujata ma'am.
Sujata, you have put it on so beautifully. I like the way you try to wrap the topic so well, and it's a pleasure to hear you, Sujata, with your kind of knowledge and your kind of divine experience. I'm so proud to have masters like you on the platform. And also you are all guides to the new masters, because there are so many new masters that are coming. They don't even know that there is a possibility of discussions on this topic. And what a great example you all are showing. You're all leading. I'm very, very proud of you all. That was an amazing discussion we had just with you. So beautiful.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sujata ma'am and Saroja ma'am.
Yeah.
So
Jaya,
any master?
Jaya
Yes, ma'am.
madam, I would like to take this discussion a little bit further, push the masters a little bit more, because I'm
Yeah.
seeing like, you guys are getting deep into it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
masters, we are looking ego as something that, we should be away from, but you guys know that we need it to some extent. Now, one thing we all, as I always keep saying in my sessions, one thing we all need to understand, that this progression of our soul that we are all on, this beautiful divine path, spiritual path, it's very important for us to be very aware of one term, which is called letting go. We all know there is something called letting go. That means don't hold on to things. But that's one thing that doesn't let us go or help us to let go is ego. Because ego likes old habits. Ego doesn't like new things. So unfamiliar territories, it doesn't like. So start looking ego from different angles. Ego is not always like, I'm great, that's not the only angle of ego. Another angle of ego is it doesn't want to let go because it's scared. And have a look, introspect within yourself and see how many of us, at how many times do we feel that we don't want to let go? How many times you want to cling to yourself, defensive? If somebody is saying something to you, how many times do we go defensive? Instead of thinking, it's okay, let me hear what they're talking about me. We immediately cling on to our instincts. Instincts is nothing but ego. So have a look at ego from different perspective. I thought I'll bring the letting go perspective as well, so that in your discussion, you can also cover that. Yeah, thank you, masters. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Saroja ma'am. So I got Malati ma'am hand raised. Would you like to share your views, Malati ma'am? It's over to you. Thank you. Sorry, you're on mute. Okay. Now you're okay. Thank you, Malati.
Thank you, Jaya ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity. My pronouns to Saroja ma'am and to all the masters here. It's a wonderful opportunity to listen about ego. I just looked at the topic, then I thought, oh, I would like to join. I just made some time quickly today. Even though I don't have much to share, I was going to ask a few questions from my perspective, from my point of view, whether it could be right, could be wrong, masters, but I would like to find some more answers for this. I was thinking, like, as Saroja ma'am says, there are many views for egotism. Like, ego can be not only just in a bad way, could be in a good way too. Also, I was thinking, as a being as the youngest in my family, I always wonder, is that plays a part too, like how you become like a the head of the family might have the strong egotism, or the older sibling might have strong ego than the youngest. Because being as a youngest in my family, I never feel that, I want to take my siblings. That's how I grew up. Like, whatever they say is okay. I'm very easygoing. I didn't have that experience when I was very young, but that's built in bit slowly. Later on, I started to go to university or working life, then start to bring it in my I just feel like that. I don't know whether it's analyzing myself, it's right or wrong. That's the way I see myself. Then even after a while, I started to stay for myself, who I am. I have to be like this. I want to express my opinions. That's the right way I need to go. So I just seen myself certain times. I was very, very strong. Even though I wasn't like that in my childhood, then I started to put my point in front of my friends. This is the right way, or at work with the colleagues. And after being in this meditation, I started, as Harika ma'am said, like, when you know many things, you just slow down. I'm not saying I know many things. I start to open my eyes. Oh, there are a lot of things that are, a lot of people. Even I start to listen to a little a child, or like a 90-year-old lady, or whoever, doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter who they are. Even for an animal, I start to just concentrate or listen, just start to listen, something there out there. So these are my experiences in between, like the ego, how I've been experienced it. But I'm just wondering whether that is a matter, being who you are. Also, I would like to express, like, we supposed to have, as Purna said, there's a salt somewhere. You need to have the right salt. You need to have the right ego to bring yourself up. Like, if you don't have the ego to participate in spiritual sessions or lectures or something, then you can't grow in there too. Like, if you say okay for everything and just be yourself, or if you don't have the urge to go and find things, that's a kind of ego too. I look at myself, that forcefulness. Okay, I want to learn this. That's also part from ego, I guess. I don't know if you could, masters, just unwrap this and give me more explanation. I'm just in a place just trying to find out what is exactly, not only the spiritual life, in our daily life too. Like, if you have some like a responsibles or some values, if you want to follow the values, so these are all part of ego. So depends the value you hold on, you have the ego for that. So if you want to be truthful all the time, that's a part of ego too. You don't want to let that go. You want to be a truthful person. Like you don't want to say anything. If someone's saying something different, so if that's your ego comes up. Oh no, be truthful. So that's kind of, standing up for your values. That's also showing that the ego comes up. So I don't know where to have the balance, but only thing this meditation taught me to observe, to consciously see and observe yourself where you are. I can only take it from Purna sir, the way we put the right amount of salt in our dish. So the way I could see myself, how I don't know where to draw the line, where I can, but I can see, okay, this is where, okay, I need to just slow down, or I need to stand up at this place. That's all, Masters. Thank you so much for listening. And I'm looking forward to hear more views and more from you guys too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Malati ma'am. That was a beautiful sharing. So if anyone would like to elaborate on Malati ma'am's questions to unwrap views, so I think I can see Gangadhar's hand raised. Would you like to share your points, sir? Over to you, Gangadhar sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaya madam. First of all, my pranams to Saroja madam. It was so nice to see Saroja madam in the live session after 3-4 weeks. Really pleasure to see Saroja ma'am and all the masters here. Sujata ma'am, Jaya ma'am, Malati ma'am, everyone. So today's topic is a very great topic. Ego. One thing is that if we are stuck in ego, whatever concepts we are discussing in our sessions, be awareness, we can't be in awareness if we are stuck in ego. We can't forgive anyone if we are stuck in ego. We can't surrender ourselves, let go if we don't realize that we are stuck in ego. So whatever it is, like if we are operating with ego mind, we can't progress in our path. In our path. And also one thing I wanted to remember here, like Saroja madam in one of the sessions, she told us about ego. Ego is given for a purpose. Like for example, the example is if you want to cross the road, we have to have that ego that we need to protect ourselves. We need to follow the rules. We need to be safe. So ego, I think, is given for us to protect us from any dangers that are there in the way. Like in our ancestors, while ago, if we are living in a forest, there are so many dangers that can be there. So ego suspects any dangers are there. So it always keeps very alert. It keeps us alert. But today, in this modern world, we are living in this place, but still our ego, maybe it's still stuck in those forest days. Like it keeps on suspecting everything. Like even though there is no danger, sometimes we are suspecting. Like if we meet a person, the ego might start saying our inner chatter that person is not correct, or it might be judging the other person, the situation, or anything. I think it is like a too protective friend of us who is trying to protect more than it is required, like that. So I think one of the ways to reduce the ego is like whatever our inner chatter is saying, like suspecting, maybe we reduce that. We have more faith, more love towards the situations and persons in our life. Like also in our 1000 Seeds of Joy session, when coming to three chakras, lower three chakras, the third chakra, this is related to ego. So in that, it is said that we need to change the world view. The world view comes from this chakra. That means the ego gives us the world view. So what is our ego saying? Is this world full of love, or is it full of problems? Like whatever our ego is building a story inside us, that is how we are viewing the life. So is our ego saying like whatever it is? So I think that we need to change the story of that in our third chapter. I mean, we need to change the story of our ego, like that parachute view. Like whenever we are in the problems like that, we see a lot of problems, we are not able to cope up with it. That's when I think we need to remember that we need to change. I mean, if we are stuck in a traffic, we feel a lot of suffocated. I mean, we not able to see. But if you go up and in the parachute view, we see it very nicely. I mean, we don't get suffocated there. Like so, so I think if ego has to be there because we are living in this society, we can use the ego for a good purpose, that by changing our world view. So we can change our ego for good. I mean, so if everything is Maya here, so we can make as a good Maya. I mean, that's what he's saying. Like, so we can change our perspective of life using our ego. I also like remember that video which Saroja madam told about the Jill's TED talk. In that there is this right brain and left brain. When her left brain stopped to work, her logical mind, she was not able to distinguish between her and the chair. So everything was one for her. She was not able to draw that line. So I think the ego for us is to maintain that uniqueness, like how Sujata madam was mentioning the point that the anchor. So when we need to remove that anchor and when we need to put that anchor, like when we need to get attached to it and when we need to get detached to it, even in our spiritual journey, sometimes we get like stuck. I mean, we're so owning that thing and then we are so attached to it, and sometimes we might be feeling great or sometimes we want that. So I think it's always we need to check on that, whether we're getting attached to it or whether it's time to detach from it. We need to keep on working on it. So you always need to balance that ego within ourselves and use it for a good cause. Yeah. And also I think what Malati madam was asking, if we are an elder, is it like we have more ego? I think that comes from that ownership or attachment. Like you want to protect the whole family, then the head of the family might be using some ego to protect his family, and the whoever is the younger one, he doesn't need own anything or attach to anything. So I think that balance comes from that, whether you are owning it or we need to detach it and then support it. So so attachment and detachment plays a major role in our ego. Like if you are living in Himalayas, like or any far away from the society, then we don't need much ego there, because automatically everything we are just one us, and then there is no, we don't need to work more on ego. But when we are in society, we need to use ego and we need to balance it. It comes a very tricky position. Even in spiritual path, like sometimes we feel like, okay, we are spiritual persons, we are great than others, or we are vegetarian, so we are greater than others, like that. So it's not that. I think we are all one. Everyone are there in their journeys. We need to support each other. And one thing we all can do is, like, if someone is successful, someone has done a good job, they are happy, we can feel their happiness from others success. And if someone is in problem, we can, when we are able to feel their grief inside us, I think that's when we are like working on our ego. We can do like that things in our path. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you, Jaya madam. Thank you, Saroja madam.
Thank you so much, Gangadhar sir. That was a beautiful explanation, especially on anchor, how to let it go or just to hold on it. and how the ego was given us to be like alert and safe, like it just give the instruction to cross the road, or that's there, it's again playing the major part. So it was beautiful, and I can see Avani Rao, she has put her hands up. I would like to welcome Master Avani Rao to share your views, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar. I'm
Namaskar.
Avni Rao from Mumbai, India. And I actually, first of all, I should thank Sujata, because she sent me the link and she said, Ma, please join. We have a good topic on this. So I made it a point to join. And plus, Namaskaram, Sujata, Saroja madam. I think we have met some years back. So regarding the subject, it's like ego means edging God out. And ego is about this topic. Many people have asked masters, what is whether ego is good or bad. Ego is good as well as bad. In the case of good, it can give us so much of enthusiasm to do our whatever given task we have, especially in spirituality. Like there'll be a competition that how many hours of meditation you have, you are sitting, or what knowledge you have gained, what books you have read. And this way, this sort of competition, or in any other field, it's very healthy, but that can become the reverse if you start comparing yourself, or you feel jealous about each other. Then the ego starts becoming bad. And then when you attach material things, or you start becoming the ahankar way, then it goes reverse. So this way, ego helps us in many different ways. The way you look at it, and how you can overcome this ego by compassion, and by becoming oneness and forgiveness. So this way you can become a tolerant person, or you can go away with ego. Actually, what Madam was speaking about letting go, this letting go thing has actually, I have practically faced this in my life, in my spiritual journey. I am connected with the Pyramid Spiritual Societies movement, and I came into meditation 2001, and at 2004, Patriji asked me to go to Mumbai, Maharashtra, and start preaching this knowledge of meditation and vegetarianism and pyramid energy. So I moved to Mumbai, and I was staying in rented house in outskirts of the cities. And when I came with all my luggage to Mumbai, including all my household items also. So I had to stay in different houses. And here in Mumbai, the leave-in license system is every 11 months. We have to vacate the house. So when I reached the third house, in that process, I had already taken the house, and I had already given the advance. But the owner, the day I landed with all my things at the house, he suddenly realized that he didn't want to give me the house, and he said, "मुझे आपको घर नहीं देना है." And so I said, "क्यों नहीं मुझे नहीं तो मैं why did you not tell me this before?" So he just simply locked the house and he went. And I was on the road in that near that building with all my articles in the truck, and I was just sitting there. And in the evening, I got a very small house, where I just dumped my things, and whatever is required, I just removed them. Actually, there were many masters who came, who were there along with me, and everybody was discussing why this is happening to you, ma'am. You have already given up your life for the cause of this movement, and why this is happening to you. Anyway, I thought that I have to learn something, and that's a great lesson behind it. So I was just sitting there at around 7:30 in the evening. I got a house. I took all my things and I went inside. But I had that feeling that why this is happened to me, and what is the great learning behind it. So I was also the part of the Mumbai Pyramid Spiritual Society along with Shreyans Daga, and I was also working there. So after 2 days, when I went back to the office, and when I because I was staying 45 kilometers from the city, so I had to move around in the local trains. So that day when I went to the office, I did all my work. When I was returning back 45 minutes, I would always close my eyes and sit in meditation. So when I closed my eyes and I put a question, I said, why this has happened to me? So suddenly I got a voice from inside, and it was Patriji. He was so angry with me, and he said, what the hell you think? Why are you carrying so much of luggage? Is it all this necessary for you? What have you come for? Is this necessary for you? I was so scared and I was shocked, and I just opened my eyes and I said, oh my goodness, what am I doing with this? What the master has taught me and where I am going. And I went home and I decided that all these things are not required for me anymore. And slowly, I started just giving off things. I didn't even sell anything. Whoever asked me, I want this, I want that, I started giving off sofa set, dining table, everything. And now I have got very, very limited things. And dear friends, when I was just giving off, actually my whole, that the luggage which was holding that heavy things on myself, I felt it was just dropping out. And that day I realized that practically I've experienced the letting go. Otherwise, it was not so easy for me to let go. So all these things, I was all the time holding, and from one house to another house, I was taking this. But this experience has literally brought me back to my senses, and I came out of that big ego. And that's how I live now. Very, very minimum things. And I always think of the work I have come for, and what is the purpose. Other than that, I don't have anything that I want this, I want that. And this is how I've experienced the letting go in my life. So I wanted to share, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, everybody, my dear friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Master Avaniro. It's such a beautiful explanation you have given on let it go, like how the physical luggage and, the burden. It was such a pleasure having you today, ma'am. That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got Navina, ma'am. So would you like to share your views and perspective, Navina, ma'am? It's over to you. Thank you.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you all? So it was very beautiful session, ma'am. So yeah. Now everyone is told like the points. Like every day we need to remind all those points. So normally when we come the spirituality, what we need to overcome first point is the ego. We learn. So normally I learned that one only when I come to spirituality. First I recognize my ego. So even in thousands of joy. So madam said that when we recognize only, so the ego goes out. So that's the main point. We need to recognize that is the ego. Even when we come under the parenting time also, we didn't recognize we have that ego. So we keep on telling them, so do this one, do this one. We are thinking like a, so for them, so they need to learn these things, and for the good cause only we are saying. In that way we are thinking. So in that the, so with the love also we have ego. So the love based ego, fear based ego, we have that one. So we need to recognize that one. So why I raised the hand, so I heard that Avanti ma'am, the thing, I remind one movie in English that is up movie. I think the Up, it's like a cartoon movie only, but very nice movie. So in that movie also, they shown that when the person is there, so he's completely attached to his house. So so from the government, they want to destroy that house. What he did, he blow all the balloons and he fly up his house. He also fly up with the house. So finally what he did, he losing the all the attachments. So finally he lose his house and he fly up completely. Then so he is like a complete person. So one attachment he's going like a letting go out. So that's all the attachments is goes. Even for us also, which are having all the attachments, our ego can like it will be reduced. And also when we recognize the ego only, it will pass on. That's it. So that's what I want to say. And even when we do the things like normally, when we do any wrongs or any mistakes we did, also from that also we learn. So if we learn, when we recognize that one, even that in that time also we can learn the things. So this time I get that ego, okay, but what we says, oh, why you did this one, why you didn't. So we get in that type one, in like what we say, when we go in the guilty time also, we feel that when sometimes we face that ego also. Yeah, I want to share so many experiences. Even I shared so many times in like my professional side also. So many times when we let it go. So this is happened. So the manager or anything. So we didn't we didn't like that place at that time. So we didn't like, when we didn't like that time, we feeling that one. So that is the ego. But when we let it go, when we think, okay, I want to face this one, when you felt in that mind, then our ego will be balanced. Thank you, Jaya ma'am. It was very wonderful topic. Actually, ego is my favorite one. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, Navina ma'am. That was beautiful from your perspective. And I would like to welcome more participants. So I got Lavanya ma'am. So thank you for coming up, Lavanya ma'am. It's over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaya ma'am. So it's a wonderful session so far. I've heard so many masters, they're talking about the ego. I thought of sharing about my perspective. Malti ma'am's question, it was quite interesting for me because I did feel the same thing when it happened to me. I mean, from the childhood, I don't talk much, but after getting married and after getting kids, then I realized there is a change within me. Then I was just introspecting, like what it is like, because I used to do meditation from my plus 12, but I did not have the knowledge of reading books, or just meditation is not sufficient. That's what I realized later, because when I started attending Saroja ma'am's classes, from then I came to know, okay, just meditation doesn't take you to any way. Only when it is clubbed with the knowledge, then you'll be able to get what you say, like you'll get the gist of it. Okay, that is the reason why you have to do. So Saroja ma'am's class, I should say, like I'm indebted to Saroja ma'am for her classes and for her knowledge, and for her motherlyhood nature. So regarding this, I feel that why I mean, like Malti's my mom's question was, she's younger and she did not have that kind of ego, but when it is come into her job or in in her advanced life, she is able to see that. Why is the difference? So it's the difference is that's what I felt in my life is because there's a change in circumstances. So that circumstances will widen up your road, and there you will have your role to play. So then many things comes into your life. The first thing I would say, like the circumstances, as I've told, and then yeah, like you would have seen so many things, like how your adults or anyone who would have reacted, and now you have built up your own so like I would have built up my own ego in like, okay, these are the situations like where my mother has dealt like that, or my father or my sibling, and so on, so on. So as we know that like our subconscious minds keep observing, so like I would try to react the same way, or I have a choice whether can I choose it in another way. So that's what I feel like, okay, because till that time you do not have that kind of opening, like you do not have that opportunity to use your ability or skills. So when you are using those skills, like it's a life skill. It's not the skill which is like it comes up triggers immediately. That our ego plays a very vital role in that. That's what I felt, because for example, when my child doesn't eat the food which I've cooked in the morning, and when he says, initially I used to get a lot of anger. Okay, I have cooked, I have woke up in the morning, I cooked it, everything, then still, what, you did not eat the food? So then I realized, okay, it's an ego. I realized because I attended the Saroja ma'am's parenting sessions. From that part, like I was thinking, okay, if the child doesn't eat for one meal, it does not happen much. It's okay. When he's hungry, he'll definitely have his food. So it does not matter, like it's not linked, because I'm linking it with because I did it, I cooked it, I woke up early in the morning, so much of work from my end. So that's the reason, like the ego. So you'll be able to identify the ego whenever the circumstances are there. Like you would like if I used to be the same thing when I was a kid. I never used to eat my food, but now it's a different. When my son is doing it for me, I'm getting anger. So I did not. I used to link every time. Like I never used to understand why my mom does. She gets anger for these simple reasons. I never used to understand. The same thing I discussed with my son. See, you see, like I don't understand. He's like, I discuss what I used to feel with my son now. So I think when you just sit down and you realize it, then I think you'll get a clarity, okay, which is coming out of your heart or out of your mind. Mind is ego, that's what I say. Heart, I feel it as coming from my soul. So when you feel like, when it comes from the mind, that's what the ego is. So as as all the masters have stated, like identity. So in my example, the identity, I was seeking the identity. Okay, I did it, I cooked the food, and this is an example. So that's what, like everything happens, like comes with the identity, like I did it. So, and the next is like the power. So whatever it is, it might be a job or wherever it is, you want to show your thing, you want to show your ability or skill so that you can grab that power. So that's the reason, like there are these two things will come up only when you have the opportunity to show up yourself. When you have that opportunity to show up yourself, the ego comes in. And always listen to your heart when you have a choice. So that's where, like, letting go. When you listen to your heart, you can let go it. When you stick to your mind, you can't let go it. That's all from my end. Thank you, Jaya ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Lavanya ma'am. That was beautiful. And thank you for your answer for Malati ma'am's question as well. Being a youngest, even I'm the youngest in my family, but I didn't have such questions. So I was just going with the flow. I didn't think of this far. So yeah, which is okay. So anyone else would like to share your views from our participants? Master Harry, Sarita Puri ma'am or Shailuja ma'am? Anyone would like to share your views at this stage? We welcome everyone to speak up. It is your session, so it's only for you all to discuss. So it would be great if you could share, from your perspectives, masters.
Ma'am, if there are no participants, can I speak?
Yes, please, Sujata, ma'am, over to you. Yeah.
Yes. I just want to share my experience related to Malti ma'am's question. Okay, even I can connect with that because even I was the youngest one in the family, and up to the age of 8 years, I was really pampered, ma'am. Okay, so I was I can say the most egoistic child in my family because I was the only girl child and really pampered for everything. So I was in the ninth cloud, or sky is the limit for me. I was like that, and afterwards situations turned around 360 degrees, and I had my own problems to deal with physically and mentally. So at that time what I have done is, ma'am, I just made a statement to my life, entire life, that adjustment is the sign of development. Okay, so I was just going with that sentence. Okay, everywhere I was just going with that, not identifying what I'm doing, just blindly and bluntly adjusting to everything and to everyone. I was just doing that, ma'am. So from there, what happens that is called clinging. Just the way Saroja ma'am said, we don't know. At times we think we are really going in the progressive way, but we are clinging to some situations or some patterns, ma'am. So I was just really adjusting like that. So at one point, I really lost myself. And to whom I am adjusting, or to the situations which I was adjusting, they are all they turned out, ma'am. I'm not blaming them, because it is not their fault. It is my fault to adjust, or to anything extreme, or anything ati it is bad, right? So I have done that extremely. I have done that adjustments and everything, and afterwards, even that is also the one of the phase of the ego only, ma'am. Even we are in the guilt, or if we are in the egoistic state, it's two sides of the coin. Just I was like that, and afterwards, gradually, when I realized, even that impacted me physically also. That became the chronicle disease in my body also. I had most of the people, when we'll be experiencing that chronicle thing, we need to introspect that where we are clinging to our thought process, in which way or in which angle. So when we just get into that, and when we clear all that things now, definitely we will get out of this even chronicle diseases also, physically and emotionally. And where I have healed myself is, I claimed my sovereignty, ma'am. I just stood for myself. Okay, all these years I was in the thought process. I was in the thought process that means only to adjust or to understand other people. That is the only important thing. But what about ourselves, ma'am? What about our self-love? We should also understand ourselves, and we should also express ourselves, because you are the equal and right partner or participant in your family, and you should know all that things, right? And when I have kept that, really I have progressed a lot. Even at that stage, the starting days of my healing, I really got Saroja ma'am's presence in my life, and even more and more masters are pouring and coming into my life, and really things have drastically changed, ma'am. It really turned out very flourishing way, and And really, I'm happy right now also. Even now also, there are so many challenges to deal or to understand, but still, I'm enjoying every process of this thing now. I'm really happy with what we are doing. And right now, I can why I'm happy, because I have claimed my sovereignty. So I am responsible for everything. I learned to accept the challenges, and I learned to take the responsibility, first of all, whatever the situations be there, I learned to do that. So even when my ego hurts, or even when if I do good things also, I'm ready to observe that, and I'm ready to learn from that lessons now. So there is a very fine line in that. To stand to ourselves, it is not ego. Even if it is ego, it's a healthy ego, man. You need to take your stand. You need to talk about yourself. You need to express yourself and everything. That's what I understand. So it's a good sign to express, first of all, to just give your identity in the right way. That's what I want to say now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sujata ma'am, again for the explanation on Malati ma'am's question. That was beautiful. And I would like to see more hands raised. Come on, masters, please come up and share your views and perspectives, masters. So it would be nice to hear from you all. And also, I think one minute. Vijaya Kumari ma'am, I think she has raised her hands. Over to you, Vijaya Kumari ma'am. You can share. Thank you. You can unmute yourself, ma'am. Yeah, thank you.
Namaste, madam.
Namaste, ma'am. Thank you so
Can
much.
you hear me?
Yes, beautifully. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you please repeat question one more time? I can't hear due to network problem, madam.
No, you can share your views and perspective. What you feel ego is about. So your insights, or you can just share them views, like whoever has raised any questions, you feel like you have an answer, you are most welcome to share, ma'am. Otherwise, you can share your own experience or whatever it is. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, madam. I don't know some words in English, but I try to explain.
Yeah.
I don't think ego and self-conscious is same, madam. Self-conscious means aham. Aham is different from ahankar. As we are getting elder and young persons, we in our childhood we grow according to our parents' views and thoughts, but according to philosophy, in the spiritual thinking, previous births vasanas are according to our divine plan. We carry some thought process or mentality with us. With those thoughts, we grow up in the childhood, madam. But when we come into world, our intelligence also grown up. We come in contact with other people in all fields, with neighbors, our friends, in jobs also. So due to our intelligence, according to our mentality, our thought process is different from our parents or anything, our relatives or friends. So we go through our thoughts from free will also. According to my thoughts, I don't think ego is the same as self-conscious. We must have self-conscious. That means self-love or self-confidence. We have to use that. We have to maintain that. Why? Because we come from our Purnatma with our soul divine and with Aham also. This Ahams, that means with self-confidence and self-awareness, we used to live in this world. We come to this world only for experiences. For these experiences, we have to face so many problems, so many issues in our life. So we make so many thoughts according to our free will also, madam. So I think if we have desires, it is not wrong. We must have some desires to achieve some goals, some aims also, and try to achieve that goals also. But when in that process we feel jealous or guilty, or we pretend to do that for anyone's praise, or for their we don't want rejection from others. We always want to others to praise us for anything. We want identity, we want fame and name. So we always do some mistakes in achieve our goals. In that process, ego comes out. Ego means we are the best, but aham means we are one of the best. That is enough, madam. In our lives, anybody, we are all must have that opinion, that self-confidence. We are one of the best. Instead of that, we can't do anything with the proper effort. We can't reach our goals also. So I think we must have self-confidence, self-respect, and for the self-existence. That conscious must be have we have that self-confidence, madam. So we don't want others to be surrendered to us, or we don't want command others. We don't feel jealous about others. At the same time, we don't pretend for anyone's care or affection, or what it may be think as everyone must be think about us as good. We don't consider others for anything. We want only to fulfill our aims, and for a soul, in our soul journey, we make our destinations and decisions for our own self purpose. In that way, if we want to evaluate or enlarge or extend ourselves to society, we must care about ourselves. We always have connection with our souls, but don't consider others' opinions or others' rejections or praise. In that way only, then we have the childish mentality, and whatever maybe we are doing in this world with our consideration of our only thoughts and our decisions. Self-decision is the best way. Don't come under any other one's opinions and suggestions. We have free will, we have intelligence. By using this, by meditation, or earning the eternal Atma Gnan. So we, from that Gnan, from that wisdom, we should live our lives in that process. For achieving any goal, we don't suppress any others mentally or physically. That is enough, madam. We have to do anything for our purposes is not a crime. It is not ego. It is self-confidence. It is self-respect. It must be done. It must be anyone have. So I want to express that opinions, madam. If there are any mistakes in my language, sorry. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, Vijay Kumari ma'am. Thank you so much. You beautifully mentioned the difference between aham and ahankar, the self-consciousness and ego. And the way you mentioned how they, it just when you say that you are the best or you are among the best, one of the best. So that's how we need to practice, it just, you have to stood out for yourself. So as Sujata ma'am said, there's no such ego when we stood out for, so that is where the self-dignity comes. So that was beautiful, ma'am. Thank you so much for your views. And Vian Shetty has put a question or something like on his chat saying that, when someone gets 100% in his, in the class test or something, so there the ego rises. And when someone else's get more than him, so then that ego like vanishes. So when there is some success, so we always should not claim that is our success, because someone behind you, like it could be universe as the supreme, they are there, they are motivating you, they are enhancing your knowledge, and we never ever claim that is our victory. So when we let the thing go, so that ego never ever rises in that moment when you get 100%, or when you are the best, or when you are the top of the school, or whatever it is. So thank you, Vian, for putting that thing on the chat. Yeah, thank you so much. And any other masters? So I can see Anuradha ma'am. Please welcome Anuradha ma'am. Over to you. Sorry, I think Anuradha ma'am, she put her hand raised. I think, I don't know whether some technical issues. She's gone now. So anyone else would like to share your views and points, masters? Shailusha ma'am, would you like to share something? Yes, Shailusha ma'am. Yeah, welcome, over to you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, yeah. You can unmute yourself, Shailusha ma'am.
Yeah. Hello,
Yeah.
masters. Are you able to hear me, ma'am?
Yes, Shailusha ma'am. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Namaste, Jaya ma'am. Namaste to all the masters, and namaste to Saroja ma'am. And I really feeling very happy to talk in this session. I'm eagerly waiting to talk in this session. Since 8, I'm just waiting here to talk in this session, because in my home, no one else will don't know spirituality, because they don't like to talk like this also. So I'm just eagerly waiting to hide from themselves and to share my experience here. And ma'am, literally, I just want to share some feelings of me in this session, because as we all know that we are not listening at all and feels of joy. So I feel like there is some missing in me, like that I felt, because we all meet together in a thousand feet of joy session. So when it comes to see the poster like Sanghas is there, I just want to jump with joy in my room, because I love to meet you all. I feel these Sanghas are like for the person who don't have any spiritual person surrounding them. Like if the person is living in the desert, and he or she wishes to drink water, cool water, and like a cool breeze. I feel like all these sanghas and these sessions like cool breeze and chilled water in the desert. So I just really love to participate in these sessions. I feel like that. And I came to know the value of Sajjana Satsangam through these Sangha sessions, and it's such a wonderful topic to see the ego. Ego is a wonderful subject to talk, because everything is linked up with ego, so we can have a vast number of things to talk about ego. So I just want to tell a few things about ego. It's like ego means it's a shadow. Ego is a shadow where we need to keep on observing in our daily life each and every minute and moment to moment. So in Thousand Pieces of Joy book, as mentioned, the Ananda Karma ego means it's like thoughts, emotions, our belief systems, expectations, suppressions, inferiority, complex, depression, stress, anxiety, everything comes under ego except that the blissful state, I think. So when one is not in all the time, everyone won't be in blissful state. But sometimes I feel like if we assume like the lake, the lake it will be still, will be with the stillness always all the time. So if we will throw the stone, bigger stone or the smaller stone, that is like our thoughts or any judgments. if we throw that kind of stones in that stilled lake, it will just give a ripples of waves of the water in that lake, in that silent, beautiful, blissful lake. This ego will work like a ripples, so we can easily identify our ego, because in our heart we can easily feel that there is something getting disturbed in us. That kind of emotions or thoughts or whatever it may, we won't be that much peaceful as we are in the blissful state. So I observed this ego is like a stone in the stillness of stillness lake. So we can easily observe the shadows surrounding this. So whatever it may be, I generally apply it in my life like this. So I am able to appreciate or observe the shadows of this ego after 2 to 3 minutes when my ego comes in work. So, and then after observing it, okay, I must be still. Okay, that's okay, fine. Let go of it. Let go of it. Let go of it. Sometimes while doing meditation, we generally put music into our head to get involved much with the blissful state, or to get completely involved with the breath. So after completion of my meditation, after some time, I used to observe like there is some music going in my head. So sometimes I feel like it also like ego, or is it something else? But it is not blissful state, I can understand. So it happens to me all the time. 2 to 3 days, just before 2 to 3 days, I am able to appreciate the kind of music going in my head, and I'm having this little bit doubt whether it is ego or not, because blissful state is completely opposite to that of the ego. And one more thing is, I just want to give an example of spiritual ego. It happened to me. Actually, I don't have mother in this physical realm, so I think it's not thinking. I believe Sita Mata as my mother, so I love Sita Mata like anything. So spiritual ego example is, I just want to love Ma Sita more than Ram. So immediately after 2 to 3 minutes, what I observed is, why I'm comparing myself. Why I'm comparing myself. I don't want to compare with anyone of my love towards Ma Sita, because I just want to be pure myself. Then so sometimes spiritual ego is also not good. So I thought that I just want to be pure like me towards Mata Sita, and I just want to love Mata Sita like a never, ever and ever expanding universes. That much love I want to share with Mata, and this is an example of spirituality and how to come of it. So, one more thing is ego. When it comes to ego, means always one should remember that it comes with the kind of many judgments, comparison, labeling. Ego is nothing but the mind that is creating all the illusion or the dreams or the thinking patterns, or sometimes it brings some concepts into the mind from the past. So we will all came to observe it when we are observing the mind, when we are in a watchful state, then only we can observe this ego. And ego means always, all the time, it is not means like we are more than others, we need our identity. This is also ego, but the greater part of our spiritual people, what I observed is the unconscious nature. I feel what is unconscious means the body movements. Like as it is mentioned in the Osho book awareness, they mentioned it like one should surrender the ego to the body sensations. So, for example, now I'm holding my phone with the help of my right hand, and it means that I should feel that that my body is holding something, and now I lifted my legs because I should feel that I did it. Whatever it said, I'm talking to you, my lips are moving, my mouth is moving, and everything it comes to under observation. So if it comes to that much part, then only we can come out of this unconscious nature. That's what I feel, because like a breath, what as mentioned in Thousand Feet of Joy, this uh, uh, observing the breath breathing work will helps to come out of this mind state. So not only all the time we will just observe the breath. I feel like observing the breath is difficult when we are spending our when we are doing our daily activities in this daytime. So I feel like surrendering our ego to the body sensations or the body movements, how what are our eyes are seeing, and how do we feel, and what observed is, um, for example, now we are folding our legs and watching TV. Um, if anyone will observe that what's happening in their body, everyone will understand that there is some kind of a tension or a contraction in their body. Once they watch their body, what will happen is the body tends to get relaxed and it will be in a peaceful mode. So that there is some kind of tuning between the body, mind, and soul. This is what I feel. So if the watching comes up to this level, and if we are able to apply it up to this level in our daily life, we can lead a very happy life, because we never don't know that how ego will come and go, because it's just like a moment, and we all know that we are getting we got habituated for the unconscious nature, or for whatever it may be, for the belief patterns or the judgment comments or the thinking mind. It won't be like since birth we are with the conscious mind and we are not with the ego like that. I think so. So we know what is good, what is bad, what is negative thinking, what is positive thinking, because we have experienced everything in our life due to the presence of this ego. Now we have got this great spirituality in our life to come out of this ego, to how to identify, how to observe this ego. So now we are able to move in a very conscious manner in our life. This is very important. And one more thing is, one should not get upset or with the ego, because we should let go the things, however it may be, and because we are having the free will that we can have, and we are having n number of quantum number of choices in our life in each and every moment. So no one is there to judge, no one is there to count how many times we fail to watch. So it's our will and it's our wish, it's in our conscious nature that whether whatever it may be, we are missing that watching set. But after getting aware that okay, I didn't watch till now, that's okay, fine. Now I will watch my body, my sensations, and everything now onwards. So this kind of things will make us everyone feel very happy and to be in a blissful state all the time. To not getting into the jaws of suffering, because we know that the thought power and the emotion and the things like so every thought we don't know how when does it come, where does it come, we don't know, right? Because ego is like a shadow. It's like there is it's like a continuum, ego and the thoughtless state, ego thoughtless state. I feel it is like this in this manner. So we should increase the state of the non-thinking mind or the non-thinking state by surrendering uh, uh, our ego to the body sensations and the watching state. It improves a lot in each and everyone's life, and this is how I think. And I really love to talk in the Sanghas and in the session. And thank you very much, Saroja ma'am, Jaya ma'am, all of you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Shailisha ma'am. That was beautiful. Your river and stone example in the spiritual ego, how you love to share your love with Mata Sita, which is beautiful. Thank you so much for your insights. And I don't see any other hands rising up. So I think, yeah, it would be the time for us to wrap the session today. And I would like to take this opportunity to again express my sincere gratitude to Saroja ma'am, who has given us this platform to share this divine insights on each topics. And also I would like to give my thank you to Gangadhar sir, Purna sir, who had been behind for the technical things, and Navina ma'am for making all the participants in groups, and Sujata ma'am for all the insights you have shared with the participants, and also all the team leaders, all team leaders. It is my pleasure. And thank you every participants. Without you, this Sanghas wouldn't be possible. And also I would love to see you all in another session. Maybe we can do another session on ego part 2 in the future. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you all. I'll just end the session. Thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.